What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In this video, we're going to be going over the newest update that actually arrived on One Piece Treasure Cruise Japan. Now, I'm not really going to be going through every single little bit of detail in the update because that would take a while, plus there are things we can't even show off because it's relating to the treasure map. But there was one thing in particular that I saw, even like some of you guys in the comment section asked me to make a video about, giving my thoughts and opinions on it, which was the upgrade to the limit break system. So limit breaking has been in the game for a very long time now, on global specifically. It's been out since the 3rd anniversary, give or take. So it has been a while since limit break has been in the system now. We understand how it works, and I think most of us would agree that yeah, the limit break system is good. But overall, it feels like, especially when you rainbow a character, like when you rainbow a character in this game compared to rainbowing a character in other gacha games, in Treasure Cruise, it doesn't feel like the character gets that more powerful from their limit break. Sure, they get some really useful abilities. Maybe they get really cool crewmate abilities, which is very useful for allowing you to get more matching orbs, more stats, cooldown reduction and stuff like that. But a lot of the time, just comparing to other gacha games that I've played, the character doesn't feel that much more powerful compared to other gachas where you can use a potential system to rank up the character even further. However, what they've done here with this new update is that they have, I wouldn't say they've revamped it, they've just more like added on pieces to the limit break system. So this is the tweet that went out a while ago now. Actually, when did this tweet go out? It went out September 17th, so about 10 days ago. So this gave us a little bit of a preview as to what this new system was going to be about. So you can see this massive key here. There are two separate keys to my knowledge about the way that this system works. One key is going to be available from treasure map rewards. So depending on where you rank in the treasure map, you'll get a key from that. And then also there are special rewards for in the new world specifically. So I think that there are two different keys. I'm not 100% certain how it's supposed to be structured. But you use these keys to unlock new nodes in the limit break system, and by doing this, you give the character further abilities to, get further on in their limit break tree, which can grant them additional stats, not really new crewmate abilities, but new updated captain abilities, which we'll be going through in this video today, because there are a couple of characters that got upgraded captain abilities, and that opens up the door for a lot of new things that could potentially come later on down the track with this new update. One thing, though, that I am a little bit pissed about is that, like, yes, I like this system, but they've given it to these characters already that kind of do deserve buffs, but it just means that further on down the road, does this mean that these characters can no longer go any further? Will they make it, later on, they'll upgrade it even further so you can use another key to get even further down the limit break tree for these characters. So, shout out to, I can't even say that name, Fedelist, for this post actually, which gives us a rundown of the new upgraded potential system for the new characters that arrived on One Piece Treasure Cruise. So this list here gives us a list of some of the characters. I don't believe this was all the characters, but these are some of the characters available that you can use these keys on to upgrade their potential system. So first of all is Barto and Cavendish. So with them, they get an additional 300 health, 150 attack, and plus 100 recovery, and they also get -1 special cooldown. So looking over here on the database right now, we have the Barto and Cavendish. So if we just have a look here, how much was it? They get 300 health, so they go up to 4,399. They get 150 attack. So if we pull up the calculator real quick, 1838 plus 150, and then plus 200 from Cotton Candies, 2188 attack. And how much recovery did they get? 100 recovery as well, which is really, really nice. And 1 turn special cooldown reduction as well, down to 14 turns. This is a really nice ability for Barto and Cavendish, but the thing is, right, it means that later on down the road, are they even going to get a further upgrade to their potential system where, what if this captain ability gets outdated, or what if just these captain abilities, like maybe they don't need to touch the dual captain, just upgrade the single captains. I think that would be cool as well, because their dual captain's still like one of the best in the game. 4.25 attack, 3 of the natural orbs are beneficial, and 25% damage reduction. Remember, like, that is such a good captain ability. You only get it for 3 turns, right? So it's not overly overpowered compared to some of the other characters that are on JP right now. But definitely upgrading some of these solo captains would be really, really good. Obviously, with Limit Break, you can't upgrade a character's special ability. You have to use a Super Evolution to do that. Or maybe later on, they'll upgrade and have a special node for special ability upgrades. That would also be really cool as well. Because currently in the Limit Break tree, you can only upgrade the captains, but that would be a really cool thing to do. For Snake Man, everyone's favorite Snake Man, gaining 350 health, 200 attack, and 75 recovery. Actually, I need to check this. How much attack does Legend Snake Man have? How much does he have? 1845 plus 200 attack. Oh no, not times 200. Plus 200 attack. Plus 200 from Cotton Candies, 2245, and remember that crewmate abilities will stack on top of this to make him even stronger. That is wild. Oh, that's so good. 6 plus Whitebeard. Now, this is where things start to fall down, because 6 plus Whitebeard, 500 HP, 200 attack, 75 recovery, minus 2 special cooldown. Obviously, great buffs. But who is using 6 plus Whitebeard as a captain, especially when we have V2 Whitebeard now? This would have been a perfect opportunity to grab him, upgrade his captain ability, because, you know, when you compare him to the V2 or Quick Whitebeard obviously is only for 2 separate classes, and he's a really powerful captain, whereas the original Whitebeard is a rainbow captain. I think it would have been perfect if they upgraded him in some way to make him, you know, he's probably not going to be used all that much, even if they did upgrade his captain ability. But if they did, that would be just a nice change for people that do have him and want to use him. I feel like that is a very big missed opportunity. Now, here's where things get even cooler. They are going to use it for treasure map characters as well. So treasure map Ace will also get this new upgraded potential system, which is so good as well, because some of the treasure map characters, even now, some of them are totally useless. I mean, like, we always meme on Kizaru. Kizaru really isn't a good character, the treasure map unit really, but in other treasure maps, because he is boosted in a lot of them, it's nice to have him there for a type booster if you need it. But outside of treasure map, like, no one really is using Kizaru. Like, he would be a perfect candidate to upgrade his special or captain ability if they did choose to upgrade special abilities. So, you know, that's really cool. That Ace is getting 350 HP, 200 attack, 75 recovery, and minus 3 special cooldown, which makes him even more usable. So that's great. Version 1 Zoro 6 plus, getting 350 HP, 200 attack, 75 recovery, and minus 5. Hold up. Minus 5? What is this? What is this? Down to a 9-turn cooldown? That's wild. That is actually wild. Now, you gotta remember, you have to use these very specific keys to do it, so you really gotta pick and choose who you want to limit break. I don't think Zoro is the character you would want to choose, but that's a really good limit break. 9-turn cooldown for what he does, that's a massive amount of AoE damage, and, you know, if he's the captain, you get the type boost. If not, you get the type boost and the chain lock, which is cool, which is really cool. So moving on, 6 plus Ace. This is where things get really cool. This character gets an upgraded captain ability. So his upgraded captain ability will boost shooter character's attack by 3.5 times, and then by 3.75 when you have a matching orb and a 1.5 times health boost. This is so much better than his original 6-star plus form. So originally, after his 6 plus, he was only 3.25 times attacked with a matching orb and 2.25 times otherwise. What a humongous upgrade, dude. And, you know, you guys, if you guys have been around the channel for a really long time, you guys would know 6 plus Ace is my boy back in the day. So it's really awesome to see that. That is a humongous buff. Huge. I'm a huge fan of that. And then on top of it, he gets a stat buff and minus 4 special cooldown. What? 9-turn cooldown for his special is so good. Okay, bro, they did a really good job with Ace. I still don't think he's going to be used because we've got characters like Capone, Dex, Sabo, that are kind of better in what they try to do. I think Capone is still the best shooter captain in the game. But to have access to this character is going to help out a lot. So 6 plus Ace is amazing. Huge fan of that one. And then obviously his 6-star version. So obviously there's going to be a discrepancy between the 6-star plus and the 6-star version of the character. So if you have the unsuper evolved version, you get a nerfed captain ability of 3 times attack and 3.5 with a matching orb. Honestly, that would have been fine. I would have probably kind of accepted that if that was the 6-star plus version, but they went above and beyond. Really happy with the buffed captain ability of Ace. It's so good. So good. Now, Blackbeard also gets it as well. Everyone has been campaigning for a 6-star plus Blackbeard for a very long time. And it's awesome to see that he gets some recognition here. So now what he does, he does the same thing, except he goes from a 2.75 times attack to a 3.25 times attack. So that's a really nice upgrade to him. He's going to be dealing more damage. And, you know, because we see Ace, how he has the 2 different variations between Super Evolution and the regular version. Does this hint towards the fact that Blackbeard might get a super evolution soon? I hope so, because if that goes up to like a 3.5 or a 3.75, that would be crazy, especially because he bypasses all barriers. Remember, he does have that really big restriction, but these days there are so many characters that can fulfill those roles on your crew. That's not really a big deal. And -4 special cooldown. What does he max out at? Blackbeard maxes after limit break, 18 turns, so -4 is 14. 14 turns for a 30% health cut through barriers. It is still quite a lot because it's a long cooldown for what he does, because he really doesn't do that much, but it's a good upgrade. Moving on to Usopp. Usopp, I feel, should have had a buffed captain ability. He's just terrible. But plus 300 HP, 200 attack. 200 attack is actually pretty good for Usopp, and -1 cooldown. It's fine. Marco, this is another one that really deserved a buffed captain ability, but potentially because he doesn't have a buffed captain ability, maybe this means that he could be getting a super evolution soon. You know, it could weigh up between Blackbeard and Marco. I think that either one of them could get one. We'll have to wait and see, though. 125 attack is a nice upgrade to him, and the recovery boost is a big one too, because remember, he has a special ability based on how much recovery that he has, so buffing his recovery stat is humongous. Actually, let's go ahead and have a look at Marco with his recovery stat of 565 plus 125 plus 100 from cotton candy, 790, and he recovers 100 times, right? Yeah, times 100. So 79,000 recovery, and with crewmate abilities that can also be buffed, so that's pretty good. V2 Gear 4 Luffy, which is the Psy Gear 4 Luffy, not the Stampede one, the OG Gear 4 Luffy. He just gets stat increases, no cooldown reduction, no buffed captain ability. That's another missed opportunity there, in my personal opinion. V1 Doflamingo, he gets minus cooldown and some stats. But yeah, you can see that with these other characters, even Treasure Map Whitebeard. Treasure Map Whitebeard also got a buff here with stats, and the 3-turn reduction of cooldown is really big. I'm a huge fan of that, because I use him a lot in Treasure Maps for like KOing lots of mob characters, and a lot of times when I'm using Whitebeard on Treasure Maps, when I get to that final boss stage, I notice that, you know, you needed to stall a little bit. Unless if you have the cooldown buff, you really have to stall to get his special ready to go. So the fact that you have -3 cooldown is going to help out a lot in treasure map fights. So, you know, that's the whole rundown of all the characters that are currently available with this limit break. But what are some other potential characters that could get a buff in the future? And I think a big one that a lot of people have been talking about with this upgrade is Sengoku. Sengoku, the biggest meme in the Treasure Cruise community, with that absolutely terrible super evolution where he basically didn't get any more useful than what he already was. Yes, he did get slightly buffed numbers, but it really didn't make the character all that more useful in the like, just overall, it didn't help out. So Sengoku only being a 1.5 times attack boost, and it's only for 1 turn, really didn't help out. And he does give you matching orbs, but you have to be 29 cost or lower for your characters to get the orb. There's just so many things wrong with this character. They could make him, honestly, one of the most usable legends in the game, but they choose not to, and Legend Carrot and Legend Hody are still better in terms of speedrunning than what Sengoku can provide. The universal attack boost is nice, but they should do a little bit more than what is already here on Sengoku. But let's move on to another character that I have in mind. Is actually a character that I think a lot of people don't really care about too much. I personally don't care about him that much either, but Borsalino definitely needs a buff. Or even a version 2, honestly. I would be down for a version 2 Kizaru, because he's just absolutely awful. His captain ability 3.5 after you use the special, but it's only literally for that 1 turn. Otherwise, it's only a 2-timed attack. It's like the same thing as Sengoku. You know, the 2-turn reduction is awesome, but he's so weak. You just can't do anything with him. And his special ability, changing orbs on shooters and slashes into matching, doesn't even get rid of block orbs. The recovery is okay. The dealing damage is okay, but he just needs to do something. Like, Kizaru is just awful. He needs a V2 or a buffed limit break for sure. And talking about another side character is Sabo. I think Sabo still has a really usable special that we'll see play, and he has a good crewmate ability as well for int orbs. But his captain ability, again, is another one that kind of needs a buff, only being 2.75. That probably should go up to about 3.5, especially if we see 6 plus ace go up to 3.75, he definitely needs to be at least between 3.25 or a 3.5 times attack. That would be really awesome for Sabo. And the last one that I also have here is, it's actually another side character, being Shanks. Again, same sort of thing as Sabo. He's only a 2.75 times captain. No one's really using Shanks these days. So I think that they could really go all out on Shanks, because he's really, like, no one really is using this character, like, at all. He has a pretty average special ability as well. They could literally make it 3.5. They could make it nearly 4 times, and I'm sure people still really wouldn't use the character, but he definitely needs a buff. But in terms of some other characters that could also benefit from this system as well, would definitely be everyone's favorite character, Log Luffy. Now, Log Luffy definitely deserves a super evolution. First and foremost, he needs a super evolution, but he could also benefit greatly from this new limit break system, buffing that captain ability, maybe making it 3 times attack, and then after good, great, perfect, 4 times attack. That'd be awesome, honestly. Or even give him a really sizable health boost on top of that. Or even give him more beneficial orbs. They could really do stuff to make Log Luffy one of the coolest legends in the game once again. But they really need to knuckle down on that one. And his special ability is just awful. And the last character I think a lot of people would agree that needs a super evolution is Fujitora. Fujitora, it's kind of weird that this character never got a super evolution, but his version 2 counterpart got one before him. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, we know that Driven are probably one of the better classes right now. They've got some pretty good support nowadays. So he probably doesn't really need like that big of a buff, but they need to change him because no one's really using him. I mean, you saw version 1 Doflamingo. He's a fantastic driven captain now. 3.5 flat with 2 beneficial orbs. Super duper good. And they could definitely make this character like just as good, if not better, than version 1 Doflamingo. And if they can release a character like Dofi like that, they can do some really cool things with Fujitora. So that's just some of the characters that I've gone through with you guys. You know, there are plenty of more other characters that I haven't talked about in this video that could benefit from this system. But it's awesome to see that they are, you know, recognizing some of these characters that need a buff. They're just terrible characters and giving them the buff that they deserve. Obviously, some of the characters here could have had a little bit of a better buff, like Whitebeard or some of the treasure map characters specifically. But the cooldown reduction and the buffs to their captains are so useful. Anyways, that's the full rundown of the system. Hopefully you guys understood how this system is working. And if you guys have any like thoughts and opinions on it, or if you guys potentially have any like recommended characters you think would be awesome for this system, let me know down below in the comment section. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.